Hello and welcome to the June 2020 edition of Pork Talk. Another month has passed with the UK pig market remaining robust despite the difficulties posed by COVID-19. I'm going to run through some of the factors supporting as well as challenging this ongoing stability. The coronavirus has challenged staffing at a few abattoirs over the past month. However, there has so far been enough wriggle room in the supply chain to cope with this, so prices have not been noticeably affected. In April, clean pig slaughter was still 2% higher than a year earlier, though weekly estimates for May suggest a little more disruption. Nonetheless, we have managed to avoid large-scale closures of processing plants like has happened in the US. American plants operate much closer to their maximum capacity throughout the year than plants in Britain, so any limitations to kill numbers causes serious disruption. Pigs are now being euthanized in the US as they are too big for market and the live pig price has collapsed. Although most plants have now reopened to some extent, it is likely to take a while to recover from these difficulties. The European market is continuing to struggle with high stock levels as supplies available outpace demand. Although some restaurants are now starting to reopen, demand from this sector is still heavily reduced. Exports are also reportedly more sluggish at the moment, with prices available on the Chinese market falling a little. The key EU markets are net exporters of pork, so are particularly sensitive to falling demand. Hence, prices have come under pressure. As a net importer, the UK market is less exposed to these challenges. Initial figures also suggest demand for pig meat in the UK has translated fairly well from food service to retail. Although falling EU prices do make this pork more price competitive on the UK market, the price differential at the moment is not particularly large in historic terms. The latest trade data for March indicates that the UK has continued to see some export growth. Volumes of pork and offal were up 1% compared to last year, and higher prices meant that the value was 21% higher. Meanwhile, imports were down 21%. It will be interesting to see how these trends developed in April, which will be more affected by any changes due to the implementation of the lockdown. One area that has been less positive for the British market is cull sows. Here we are a net exporter, and so we are exposed to the poor situation in Germany, which is our primary market for this product. It is difficult to imagine this area improving imminently, though with underlying Chinese demand still strong, exports would ultimately be expected to improve, especially if US production remains challenged. If and when product starts to come out of continental stores onto either domestic or export markets, the sow market might be expected to improve. Although things have been stable for the pig market so far, there is still the potential for things to change as the world continues to battle with the coronavirus outbreak. For the latest information on the pork market, remember to check the pork section of Markets and Prices on the main AHDB website.